YouTube, Awesome Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 14? I think it's 14 or 15. So, the debut of our second part, or at least the start of our debut of our second part of the super form with the Rex form. Interestingly, it only ends up at like, you know, the very end of the transformation sequence. We don't actually get to see the full-on, like, suit in the show and the fight, which I was kind of surprised by because going into this I was kind of like, okay, this show's gonna be rushed, there's always just the forms happening or whatever, so I was like surprised that like the episode ended because I honestly expected to get our first Rex fight, but it's another in a handful of episodes in the last stretch that have been episodes that I would consider okay for Gotchard standards, pretty mediocre and mixed by any other standards, but by the very low bar the show has set, it's decent for it. And there is a couple of interesting things in here. A couple of things that are dumb. A couple of things that are so dumb they like reach into that kind of entertaining category. You do have a couple of nice scenes, or one nice scene, I guess, but it's shot from different angles, of Hotaro and Rin talking about her guilt, and like, she says, hey, the villain keeps coming and whispering to me, it's all your fault. And I don't know what that means because people keep interrupting the scene, so we don't know. And he's like, well, I'm sure that this will get cleared up at some point. And it was kind of a nice scene. I'm still confused about, I'm sure it has to do with her dad, but like what she feels guilty about. I feel like it's all really vague. But one nice thing I can say about the scene is it was one of those scenes where Hotaro's actor is able to act like an actual human being, which he kind of had one of those recently in the Legend special in episode 2. I'm like, hey, this guy can act like not a cartoon. So that was one thing that would happen, which was, I would say, just kind of nice just because it was a nice change of pace for Hotaro's acting. But the main plot revolves around one of my least favorite things in the world that I could not care less about, which is toku filler characters. As the plot revolves around like this guy and his daughter who, the guy's dream is to like see dinosaurs or whatever, and like he gave up on the dream and thought he let his daughter down, and she's looking for him because he's missing because he got ate by the T-Rex. And of course, you know, Hotaro doesn't understand, like, why would a T-Rex Kemi eat a person? And he's like, why would you not understand that? He's like, Kemis! And so that's like the main plot. And again, I care so little about these main characters, and I'm like struggling to find reason to care about them and hoping each episode they give me a reason to care about them or more information about them, so I have no time to learn about valueless nobody characters we're never going to see again. But that's like the main drive of the episode in regards to the T-Rex plot. You do have a little bit of a subplot about Spanner being tasked with getting the Dread Driver and showing that for the time being the Dread Driver is going to be cycling through the villains. Not the little girl villain yet though. I think that would be funny if she full-on Justined it and became Dread at some point, but I don't mind that at all because again they're my favorite characters, but I can't help but feel with like them giving the Dread Driver to whatever his name was, I already forgot, Asabi, for one episode or two, and then them randomly using it, that it almost feels like Toei, Bandai came in and said, okay, we got a driver coming out, who's gonna wear it? They're like, oh, we didn't think about that. Like, I'll just everybody. So that's kind of almost what it feels like. Not in the sense that the villains don't feel worthy of wearing it, and there has been belts, obviously, in many series that have kind of passed around. Like, Delta, I remember, started off as like, I think it was like the Orphanox Villain Rider belt, and then it just passed around until it wound up being on the most forgettable person alive. So it's not unheard of, but it does feel a little bit strange. But anyway, there was a little subplot about that, a couple cool fights. We saw both of them, like the main adult ones, transform into Dread. So that was going on, but not much of substance there other than Spanner's been tasked with getting the Dread Driver back. Or not back, just getting it. But anyway, for the T-Rex plot, you wind up having Hotaro getting eaten by the T-Rex finally, and the world rejoices, and the show ended. You know, I was really impressed. Like, I can't believe this show's secret masterpiece, making you hate this character for 13 episodes, and then it's finally satisfying to see him get eaten by a dinosaur, and then the series just ended. So, wonder what the next writer's gonna be. Unfortunately, he survives, and effectively what they explain is the T-Rex Kemi has to eat people to learn how to understand them, and he does that by intrusively reading your memories. And then Hotaro's like, of course, that makes so much sense, Kemis! Like, this was so dumb. Like, it was one of those things where I'm like, this is really dumb mythology, and like, it's still a horrible way because you're like forcibly reading someone's memories against their will, and you're eating them, and yet Hotaro's still like, Kemis can do no wrong. But it was such a dumb explanation, it was almost funny and entertaining. I couldn't help but feel that like, the main reason for this, to be honest, was when Hotaro was in there, he's like, look, read my memories to see all this disingenuous stuff we've done with Kemis to make you feel like we care. And he reads all of Hotaro's memories, and you hone in on this memory of him when he was little with Hopper 1, which was the main reason for this whole thing, was to show that he met Hopper 1 previously and doesn't remember it for one reason, which was intriguing, which at least is like you know, an up for this episode of like, you know, added a little bit of extra mystery to be intrigued by. But I feel like this just could have been done in a lot less stupid of a way. Like, I mean, maybe UFO could have been the one to read, like you have some sort of psychic connection, like have the UFO story go on a little bit longer, or have the UFO need to like mind meld with him for that. Like, I think that would have made more sense. Like, in the writer's room, if it was me, I'd be like, okay, UFO, maybe they have psychic powers, you know, because aliens and all kinds of stuff have psychic powers. No, like, nah, the T-Rex eats him and reads his memories. Bro, that makes more sense. Get out of here with your UFO stuff. That's the main reason, was to have this revelation about his past. And then, you know, he comes out of it, and then we in the episode with him about to finish transforming into T-Rex. Like I said, I thought that they were going to have the final fight, and I was actually surprised the episode ended, because I was just kind of already accepting that this was going to be rushed. I mean, not that it's not already rushed, because he basically transformed by the end, but still I was surprised we didn't get the fight at the end. But yeah, like, it was okay by Gotchard standards. You know, there was at least there's more happening. There's more, like, ongoing plots to follow, like with the Dread Driver and Spanner, this little bit of a mystery of Gotchard. I can't say any of it I'm, like, super intrigued by, where I'm like, oh, can't wait to fire up the next episode to see what happens, but at least it's doing enough that there's stuff to be invested in that I'm able to watch week to week, so I don't stop completely. But yeah, the T-Rex stuff, again, it's so weird. It sits on that line of, like, it's so dumb, I hate it, but also it's so dumb, it's, like, fun to laugh at. Like, the T-Rex, I don't know, it was just stupid. But anyways, guys, what did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments. As always, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb a steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.